I'm Erica.
And here we are, we're back with segment 2 with our Hugs and Kisses baby quilt.
And we're going to make the heart block this time.
That's right. Okay, so we'll just get started.
Okay, and we are using the 8-inch cube.
Right.
And we've got the dies that we need already pulled out from that cube, Lynn.
Right, we've got die 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Perfect.
That's what you're going to need. And okay, so what we've done is we've got one complete block here put together.
Right.
And then we are going to focus on the flying geese.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
And so we've got, this is, number 1 is our large square, and then number 2, these are our smaller squares. So
okay, so these are the solid squares that
right.
we see. Okay,
we've already got those cut. So we are going to cut the larger quarter squares and the smaller half squares.
And that's going to be what we need both for our flying geese here, but also what we use for the sides of the heart over here.
That's correct. Okay, with the smaller half square triangles, we're going to cut 6 layers, but we're going to do 4 layers of the white and then 2 layers of the pink because we need more white half squares with this block than the pink. So still up to 6 layers, and I do of course have my fabric is cut on the lengthwise grain.
Lengthwise grain, perfect.
Okay, and then on our larger quarter squares, so we need 3 of those with this block.
Right.
But I'm going to go ahead, I've got a width of fabric strip here that's cut on the lengthwise grain.
Okay.
So I'm just going to cut, there are 4 quarter square triangles, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut enough for other blocks or other heart blocks in the quilt top.
Why not save more time?
Right, okay. So rather than stop and cut individual, we'll get the most out of this.
I think that's an excellent idea.
All right, and we've got the go big, so we can cut
both at the same time.
Okay.
And again, this could be done with this 8-inch cube with any of our cutters. We could use the Go Baby or the Go as well.
Right, and then also you could make this quilt top with any of the sizes of cubes as well. You would just use the same die numbers, but just you'll adapt the finished size of the blocks.
Perfect.
All right, so let me slide this one off too.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put together one of the flying geese. This is going to be the one that's going to be the tip of the heart.
Okay, so I'll give you that, and 2 of the white.
And typically, Lynn, I would go ahead and chain piece. So I just get started. I would go ahead and do all of my one side, then take them all to the iron and press them out, and then I'd go ahead and do the other side. But we're just doing one right now, so.
Okay, so one thing I want to point out here on these quarter squares do still have one of their dog ears on them. So just a little tip while Erica's finishing up there, when you put your half square on, this side will match up perfectly with your dog ear cut off. This side you're going to have a little tip hanging out, and that's perfectly fine. It'll be easier if you start sewing from this side. So just a little tip there. Okay, so you've got your other white.
That done. And again, I'm going to line it up. I'm going to use this end because I know that's going to be perfect. And then by the time once I have the one side off, you can see that now it will fit just perfectly up there for me.
I think that that's just still, again, one of the greatest things about the AccuQuilt system.
Oh, absolutely. Such a good time saver. Not only are you saving that time on cutting originally and having the accuracy, but you're saving time all along the way with that as well.
Right.
And we're going to go ahead and press this out, and again, I'm pressing them both towards the dark, or our pattern that is the tip of the heart. And I do, when I'm making my flying geese, like to go in the same order with my sides.
And that makes sense.
Okay, so that makes our little heart tip. Now over here, we already put together this side of the center panel. Over here, I would put these 2 half square triangles together and put those 2 sides together to make this rectangular big shape. And then go ahead, sew this to either side of that center square to make that center row. We'd sew together our 2 flying geese units up here, and then we go down here, sew our squares to either side of that flying geese unit, press that all, and then sew those 3 rows together.
That sounds great. It looks like a little bit complicated over here, but I think once you break it down, it's all easy piecing.
Okay, so when you look at our sample here, you may think that our heart looks a little fat, Lynn, but because we engineer that 1/4 inch seam allowance into all of our dies, when this block is sewn into our project with that 1/4 inch seam allowance, it's going to square that off just where you think it should be. It'll come right across these points and also across the tips of the hearts here with our 1/4 inch seam allowance as well as the bottom to give you that great heart shape that we see in our quilt behind us.
Right, so then you've got your perfect points, which is what you want.
Right, as well as that cute heart. So.
All right, well, stay tuned for segment number 3 where we do what we're calling the kisses block.
That's right, or the X.